How does a woman raised in wealth learn the true meaning of love? What does it take to open a heart blinded by pride? Let's find out. The Gold in His Heart, Part 1. In a bustling city filled with tall buildings and bright lights, there lived a young woman named Valentina. She was known everywhere for her beauty and wealth. Valentina had long, shiny hair and sparkling blue eyes. She wore the most beautiful dresses and expensive jewelry, making her the center of attention at every party she attended. People admired her, but they also knew she was proud and looked down on those who were not as rich as she was. Valentina lived in a large, elegant house with her father, who was a well-known businessman. He was kind and cared deeply for the community, but Valentina was often too busy enjoying her life to notice. She spent her days shopping, going to fancy restaurants, and attending glamorous events. She felt powerful and loved being admired by everyone around her. However, there was one person she often ignored, a young man named William. William was different from the people Valentina was used to. He lived a simple life as a carpenter in a small workshop. He had strong arms from working with wood every day and a warm smile that could light up any room. William was known for his kindness and helpful nature. Everyone in the neighborhood loved him because he was always willing to lend a hand. He had a talent for creating beautiful furniture and crafts, but he never sought attention or praise. He was humble, and that made him stand out even more. Valentina had seen William a few times when she visited the market with her friends. She often laughed at his old clothes and simple lifestyle. To her, he was just a carpenter, someone beneath her social status. Valentina could not understand why anyone would want to live a life without luxury. She believed that wealth and beauty were the most important things in the world. Little did she know that her heart was about to change. One day, Valentina's father decided to hold a charity gala. He wanted to raise money for a community project that would help those in need. Valentina's father was very excited and asked Valentina to help him organize the event. She reluctantly agreed, thinking it would be another opportunity to show off her elegance. The gala was set to be the biggest event of the year, filled with important guests, sparkling decorations, and of course, an air of luxury. The charity gala was the most awaited event in the city. Everyone was excited, especially Valentina, who had been preparing for weeks. She wore a beautiful gown that sparkled under the lights. The room was decorated with colorful flowers, and the tables were filled with delicious food. People chatted and laughed, all eager to help raise money for a good cause. Valentina's father, a wealthy philanthropist, had organized the gala to collect funds for a new community center. He wanted to help the less fortunate in the city. Valentina loved the idea of helping people, but she also enjoyed the glamorous side of the gala, the attention, the fancy clothes, and the important people around her. As the evening went on, Valentina noticed a beautiful antique mirror on display. Its frame was carved by William, a young carpenter from the neighborhood. Valentina had always thought of William as just a simple man with a simple job. She didn't understand why her father admired him so much. Why does he get to display his work at a fancy gala? She wondered, rolling her eyes. Suddenly, the room was filled with panic. The main attraction of the night, a stunning diamond necklace, went missing. People gasped and whispered in shock. The atmosphere changed from joyful to chaotic in seconds. Valentina's father looked worried as he rushed around, trying to calm the guests. "What happened? Where is the necklace?" he shouted, trying to keep control of the situation. "I don't know. It was just here," exclaimed one of the staff members, looking frantic. The guests were upset, and whispers of theft filled the air. In the midst of the chaos, William stood at the side, observing the scene. He was invited to display his artwork, but felt out of place among the wealthy guests. Valentina noticed him and felt a strange mix of irritation and curiosity. Why was he still here? As her father grew more distressed, he called out, "Is there anyone here who can help us find the necklace? We need someone who is calm and smart." Valentina rolled her eyes again, thinking that no one could help more than her father, but then she heard William step forward. "I can help," he said confidently. Valentina couldn't believe it. What can he do? She thought, but before she could say anything, her father nodded. "Thank you, William. Please help us." Valentina found herself forced to work alongside William. "This is ridiculous," she muttered under her breath as they started, searching the room. William remained calm, searching for clues, while others panicked around them. They moved through the crowd, asking questions. "Did anyone see the necklace?" William asked. Valentina noticed how he spoke with respect and kindness, even to those who looked down on him. She felt a bit embarrassed by her earlier thoughts about him. After a while, they examined the area where the necklace was last seen. Valentina was still annoyed but started to appreciate William's focus. He was checking everything carefully while Valentina rushed to look at the guests' reactions. "Wait," William said suddenly, looking closely at the antique mirror. "There might be a hidden panel?" Valentina raised an eyebrow. "A hidden panel? Are you sure?" William nodded, examining the mirror's edges. "Let's check." With steady hands, he pressed on a section of the frame. To Valentina's surprise, it moved slightly, revealing a hidden compartment. The crowd watched in anticipation as William opened it fully. There, resting inside, was the diamond necklace. Gasps filled the room, and Valentina's heart raced. William had done it. He saved the gala. Valentina looked at her father, who was relieved. "William, you are amazing!" he exclaimed, clapping him on the back. But as everyone celebrated, Valentina noticed her father's expression changed. "What's wrong, Dad?" she asked. He sighed, looking serious. "This necklace belonged to my grandmother. It's more than just a piece of jewelry to me. It represents our family history." Valentina felt a wave of understanding wash over her. The urgency to find the necklace was not just about money. It was about family, love, and memories. She looked at William, realizing how much he had helped them all. "Thank you, William," she said softly, feeling a new respect for him. That night, amid the celebration, Valentina's heart began to change. Just a little. She was starting to see William in a new light. 2 days later, Valentina couldn't stop thinking about the gala and how William had found the necklace. She decided to visit his workshop. Although she felt nervous, curiosity pushed her to go. Maybe he has more interesting stories, she thought as she made her way through the neighborhood. When Valentina arrived at William's workshop, she was surprised by the sight. The place was filled with wooden furniture and various tools. The smell of freshly cut wood filled the air, and sunlight streamed through the windows, creating a warm atmosphere. It was different from the glamorous party she was used to. William looked up from his work as she entered, his face lighting up with surprise. "Valentina, what brings you here?" he asked, wiping his hands on a cloth. "I wanted to see your workshop," Valentina admitted, feeling a bit shy. "I was curious about your work." William smiled, and Valentina felt a flutter in her chest. He led her around the workshop, showing her the different pieces he was creating. There were chairs, tables, and even beautiful carvings. "This is my favorite," he said, pointing to a beautifully carved cabinet. Valentina admired the craftsmanship. "You're very talented, William," she said, genuinely impressed. "I didn't know you could create such beautiful things." "Thank you," he replied, looking pleased. "It takes a lot of practice and patience." As they continued to chat, Valentina noticed some scraps of wood lying around. An idea popped into her head. "Can I try?" she asked, pointing to a small piece of wood and some tools. "Of course," William said, encouraging her. "Just be careful. It takes time to learn." Valentina picked up a small carving tool, feeling the weight in her hand. She started to carve into the wood, her hand shaking a little. At first she struggled, but William patiently guided her. "Just take your time. Let the wood tell you what it wants to be," he advised. As she carved, something amazing happened. Valentina felt a sense of freedom and creativity flow through her. She lost track of time, focused on the piece in front of her. With every cut, she felt more alive. It was a feeling she had never experienced at the high society events. After a while, she stepped back to look at her work. To her surprise, she had created a small wooden flower. "I did this?" she exclaimed, her eyes wide with excitement. "Yes, it's beautiful," William said, genuinely impressed. "You have a talent for this." Valentina's heart swelled with pride. "I didn't know I could do this." "It feels so different from all the parties and dresses," she said, and feeling a new sense of purpose. "I'm glad you came here today," William replied, smiling. "You have a gift, Valentina. You should explore it." Valentina nodded, feeling inspired. She realized that she wanted to learn more about woodworking. It was a world filled with creativity and hard work, a stark contrast to her previous life, focused on appearances and status. As she left the workshop, Valentina felt a spark of excitement. She had discovered a hidden talent, something she could explore further. She also felt a connection with William that was growing deeper. "Thank you for today, William," she said as she waved goodbye. "I'll come back and practice more." "Anytime, Valentina," he replied, a warm smile on his face. Walking home, Valentina felt a mix of emotions. She was excited about her newfound interest in woodworking and grateful for William's encouragement. She realized that her world was expanding, and she was beginning to appreciate the beauty in simple things, especially the kindness of a humble carpenter who was slowly changing her heart. The sun was shining brightly on the day of the local festival, and excitement filled the air. Colorful banners hung from every corner, and the sound of laughter and music echoed throughout the streets. Valentina had been looking forward to this day, and she decided it was the perfect occasion to invite William to join her. "William," she called out as she approached his workshop. He looked up from his work, wiping sweat from his brow. "Valentina, what a surprise," he replied, smiling. "I wanted to invite you to the festival today," she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "It's going to be fun. There will be food, games, and dancing." William hesitated for a moment. "Are you sure? I don't want to interrupt your fun with your friends." "Of course I want you there," Valentina insisted, her voice warm. "You'll enjoy it. Besides, it'll be great to spend time together outside the workshop." With a shy smile, William agreed, and they headed to the festival together. As they walked through the streets, Valentina felt a sense of joy in William's company. They laughed, shared stories, and enjoyed the vibrant atmosphere around them. Once they reached the festival, Valentina took William's hand, pulling him towards a booth filled with colorful treats. "Look at all this candy, let's try some," she exclaimed. They tasted various sweets, enjoying the simple pleasure of sharing delicious food. Valentina felt free and happy, away from the constraints of high society. As the sun began to set, the festival became even more enchanting. Lights twinkled above, and the music grew lively. "Let's dance," Valentina said, dragging William to the dance floor. He looked nervous, but followed her lead. They moved together, laughter and joy surrounding them. Valentina was amazed at how comfortable she felt with William, as if they had known each other forever. As they danced, Valentina noticed an old friend from her past walking toward them. It was Alex, a charming young man who had once tried to win her heart. "Valentina, it's been a long time," he called out with a bright smile. "Alex, what are you doing here?" Valentina asked, surprised but happy to see him. "I'm back in town for the festival," he replied, his eyes sparkling with mischief. He looked over at William, his smile fading slightly. "And who is this?" "This is William," Valentina introduced, feeling a little protective. "He's a carpenter and a friend of mine." Alex raised an eyebrow, clearly unimpressed. "Nice to meet you, William. Valentina and I used to be very close." William felt a wave of doubt wash over him as he watched the interaction. He remembered Valentina speaking. Part 1 ends here. Will Valentina's heart truly change, or will old habits return? What does the future hold for Valentina and William? Love or heartbreak? To find out, click the video here or follow the link in the description.